All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to do a little housekeeping note. We understand that there's some information speculating about contract extensions. Today is not the time and place to discuss any of that. So questions, please just relate to about today's game, and we can discuss that maybe potentially Monday. So thank you very much for your appreciation on that. And then, Coach, why don't you begin with an opening statement?
Wow. Don't really know where else to start. Credit to our guys, credit for how they stuck to it, credit with how they rallied, credit with how they came together. Thought they did a really, really good job of staying positive and keep fighting to the next play. And then, for them to go out in the second half and do what they did, that's championship level football. And obviously the first half we didn't do anything right, but at the end of the day, we came out and we did what we had to do to win a football game. And so, I don't have much else. Questions?
Okay. We're going to go to Mark in the front left row.
I'm going to ask the question everybody's going to ask. What did you say at halftime?
Honestly, not much. Like all we talked about was, we have an identity of who we are. If we play to our identity, we're a good football team. If we start thinking that's not who we are, if we start thinking we're something else, if we start trying to play a different way, that's not us. That's not who we are. And we're a blue-collar team. We're a physical team. We're a team that has to control the line of scrimmage. We're a team that has to play with a lot of energy, and we just weren't doing any of those things in the first half. And I think the vibes were good. Given all things considered, the vibes were good. The kids believed we were going to come out and win that game in the second half, whether they really did or not. That was the energy in the locker room. And then obviously, we made some plays early in the second half to get the momentum going, to get the crowd going, and from that point it just kind of spiraled in our favor.
We'll stay to the left, second row, Alex.
Did you feel like you guys had to play a near perfect second half to win that game? And besides the fumble at the 1 yard line, did you feel like you guys did that for the most part?
We still weren't perfect. We still, there's still a lot of things we could have fixed. But yeah, for sure, felt like we had to play near perfect. Down 4 scores at halftime. I think I read somewhere that SEC teams are 0-286 all time in that predicament, and so that's 1-286 now, I guess. We didn't have a lot of margin. We were going to have to score. We were going to have to get stops. We were going to have to keep scoring. And, again, we were able to do that. That's it?
No.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry, Coach.
No, it's next. We also was happened offensively. Any thoughts or what you said or what you did, adjustments made defensively to shut them down in the second half?
First of all, I didn't tweet anything. That was important.
I wouldn't expect you to during a football game.
Yeah, me neither. The second thing is, I think we kind of got into some better feel for how they were running things. They did some things a little differently. I thought that was critical and important. I thought that helped.
And Coach, any theories or any thoughts on why y'all might have got off to a slow start?
I think obviously, we talk about this a lot. If you take your foot off the gas in football will humble you quick. Clearly, we weren't in the mental space we needed to be in to start that game. That's on me. I'm the head football coach. We weren't doing the things on either side of the ball that we needed to do to be successful. That's on me. I'm the head coach. And, this game always finds a way to humble you if you don't do it the way it's supposed to be done. And clearly, we didn't do it the way it was supposed to be done to start that game.
To the right, first row, Tony.
Mike, you talk about the growth of Marcel Reed and just his development as a leader, as a quarterback. What was the conversation with him at halftime, and what kind of response did you see from him coming out of the locker room?
Yeah, just told him to relax. It wasn't, again, he's the quarterback, and so all of the positives and negatives always fall on him. Offense is so much about rhythm, and he makes a bad throw, we give up a pressure, someone drops a ball, he makes it just was kind of that was the rhythm we were in the first half, and it was so choppy, and and so we were able to get back into halftime, just settle them down. I thought the tempo helped a lot. I think us going tempo to start the second half took some of the thinking out of his brain and just kind of got him loose and free and playing. That certainly helped get him into a better rhythm. I think they didn't handle it particularly well, and so we were able to get some more easy access throws, which was important. And I just think, again, he got rolling and got going.
To the left, third row, Matthew.
Coach, what can you say about Isaiah Williams turning his first catch of the season into a touchdown right there?
Yeah, it's another story, right? Another story of a kid in this program who works hard every day to get ready when his number is going to be called, and you never know. And all of a sudden, Mario's down, and we need some guys to step up. And here comes Isaiah, and he's a talented player. He hasn't been able to get a ton of opportunities this year because there's other talented players in front of him. But to his credit, he just kept working. Talked to him about it in the locker room after the game, and just proud of him for continuing to be ready and be in the position needed to be successful.
Fourth row, left, Rob.
Howdy, Coach. Congratulations. So 4th and 12, third quarter, down 30-3. Talk about that call, and it kind of changed the whole trajectory of the game when Marcel took off and got that first down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're playing to win, so we're not playing for any other reason. And at that point, there was still a chance for us to win, and so we were going to play to win. And punting's not helping us at that point, and so we actually tried on the second and third down to get some shorter yards to get the thing going, and it just didn't work out the way we wanted it to. And so. But that was, we just felt like it was the right thing to do at that point.
To the right, front, first row, Travis.
And Mike, I know you as coaches, y'all try to script out and look and put your players in every kind of position possible. Is this something that y'all have done in practice, being down and having to kind of pass as much as this to get back in a game?
Yeah, a lot less when we work on this situation. We call it 6-minute offense, and so it's like that's that thought of like being down 2 scores or 3 scores with 7-8 minutes to go in the game, where you got to pick your tempo up. You can still run your offense, but you got to be able to pick your tempo up, and you got to be able to go. There's a conditioning element to it. There's obviously a communication element to it. You don't have the ability to just sit around and take as much time as you want to, and so I've never had to do that to start a second half before, but it is certainly a situation that we spend time on. And again, we just had to start it a lot earlier than I've ever had to before.
When you have a program like that, how much do you use it? Can a quarterback get comfortable when they've gone through something like that before and done it in practice?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it helps, and the more situational football you play, the better it is. I think probably even more so the way we went out and got the stop at the end. That's another time that we've gone out with the game on the line on defense and gotten a stop at the end, and that's another that situation we work a lot more than the first one. But yeah, when you put kids in those situations, you do it so that they're comfortable and they don't panic. And so certainly a lot of the things that we were calling maybe weren't part of the base thoughts in our game plan this week, but they are certainly things we've repped a lot, practiced a lot. We practice them every week, and so we were able to get in them when we needed them and roll with it.
And then the final fumble, what was the play call on that? What should have kind of come through?
It was a disaster. It's my fault.
We'll go to the fourth row, left side, Aiden.
Aggies set a record once again today with the most attended game this season. What again is the message to the 12th man who showed up for y'all today and most importantly stayed after halftime to support your team?
Yeah, thank you for staying with us. Sorry for what the first half looked like, but in a lot of ways you propelled us to victory in the second. And so, there's not a lot of places where that stadium is going to look like it looked when we come back out after halftime. And so I noticed it obviously in the fourth quarter when the crowd was really going, but then just standing there at the end, sawing them off, and just seeing how full the stadium still was an impressive showing by the 12th man once again.
Coach, we'll go all the way in the back, Donna.
Coach, when you picked up Nate in the portal, did you envision he'd have this kind of impact for y'all?
Yeah, obviously when you go get guys, you think that they're good players. We had a lot of belief in who Nate was, and it was, again, it's kind of our process of evaluating tape and watching him play, and there were some other kids in the portal that honestly we felt like he was a much better player than, and so we went after him really hard. We thought he was going to be able to give us a little bit of both. Obviously he's a more physical kid than he is a wide open wide receiver pass catching type, but we knew he had really good hands. We knew he could play tight end and run routes and catch the ball, and so he gives us a lot. He gives us a lot of value.
visibly more emotional after this one, especially with Marcel, just watching you celebrate with him. You know, beyond the numbers, the stats, having him as your quarterback, I mean, 439 yards today. But just what does that mean to watch him be able to go out there and do what he did?
Yeah, I'm not lost for words very much, but I was lost for words with the team in the locker room after the game. I just, a lot of that emotion was just pride in who they were, how they conducted themselves. You know, there's not a lot of teams that have a culture and a core that will just keep going. You know, and again, like even the 80-yard pass before, it just was one after another in the first half, and to not blink and really go into the locker room and still come out in the second half and compete, and then ultimately to score 28 straight points and win a football game that ends with a 99-yard drive. There's just not a lot of words for that. It was really impressive.
We'll stay in the back, go next to her, Tyler.
You talked about that second half being championship level football. What kind of level of football did you see from Cassius Howell, especially there at the end where it seemed like he made the plays when it mattered the most?
Yeah, I think, and I'd be lying if I could tell you who was making the plays at the end. I'm assuming he was in and around the pile. I'd take your word for it. Some of that was a blur a little bit, just trying to get us into the right call. But he's a talented player, you know, and when they got into a situation where they had to throw the ball a little bit more, we were able to kind of get going a little bit with the pass rush. You know, it was such a run-heavy game plan by them, and we knew it would be, and so we weren't really able to do much from a pass rush standpoint early on. But as the game, you know, got open and we got the lead at the end, we were able to kind of turn it loose a little bit, and I think he was able to do the things he's capable of doing.
To the right, third row, Christy.
I know you always, I'm sure, tell your team to look ahead and not behind if things didn't go well. But what does it say about Reed that he, you know, had a tough first half, and he not only didn't look back, but he had one of the most epic performances in a second half ever to, you know, keep your team on track to where you want to be?
Yeah, I mean that's what winners do. I think that's what winners do is they control what they're capable of controlling, right? And you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have put in a lot of work. You have to have confidence in the people around you. And I think all of that came out today. You know, he's a confident kid. It certainly wasn't lost on him that he wasn't playing very well. But, you know, we believe in him. The team believes in him. He believes in us. He believes in the team. And when all of that stuff is there, the only thing you can do is just make the next throw, right? That's literally all you can do. And so he did it. I think we were able to calm down a little bit. I think one of the things that happened in the first half for sure is we just started really pressing. It was like we were in panic mode, trying to do too much, make the play. So we got into panic mode. And I do think at least at halftime, it was okay, can we just take a breath and start playing football a little bit? And so that helped for sure.
We'll go front row to the right, Carter.
Mike, the end of the first half when there was the missed field goal, the back-to-back picks, the 80-yard pass you mentioned, what was the feeling on the sideline? Was there anybody that stepped up and maybe rallied the troops in the locker room at halftime? And what do you think the kind of emotions were after that kind of sequence?
Yeah, you know, it sounds crazy to say this, but there really wasn't a lot of panic. There were certainly your leaders. You know, you heard Torian York, you heard Armaji Reed-Adams, you heard Marcel Reed, you heard Concepcion, you heard our leaders talking as we were going up the tunnel, as we were going into the locker room. I think we made sure that we reset the energy the right way. I thought that was important, just to make sure that everybody knew kind of where we needed to be and what space we needed to be in. And as bad as everything was going, it just we don't panic. That's the one thing we don't do, is we don't panic, and maybe we need to panic a little bit more. I don't know, but you know, it worked for us today.
Any status update on Ruben Owens?
No, I think he came back in, didn't he? Did he come back in? I think he came back in at some point. If he didn't, it's not a massive thing.
Yeah.
We'll go to the left, second row, Colton.
Hey, Coach, how do you soak in a game like this right after a game? And have you ever coached or played in a game like this in recent memory that's been this crazy?
No, that's a first for me in my career. I don't even really know what just happened, to be honest with you. A whole lot of heart left on the field, and a whole lot of support from a great group of fans.
We'll stay in that same row, Alex.
kind of touched on it, but just from what you could see in real time, what would you feel like maybe led to the turnovers Marcel had in the first half, and just what did you feel like he did on the field that helped clean up his play there in that second half?
Yeah, honestly, the first half is, I'm going to come back to that on Monday. Like, that was a little bit of a blur at this point, Alex. I couldn't even tell you that I remember him at this point. Certainly the one was a really bad play call by us. You know, we put him in a really harm's way with the end charging in his face, the touchdown. Yeah, I don't even remember the rest of them. I think the rhythm, the tempo, creating some easy access throws. I think we were able to slow the pass rush down through the tempo. That helped. Obviously, they're really talented up front, and you know, they looked like a team that was, you know, fresh off a bye and fired up to come in here and beat a team that was ranked really high. And we didn't match their energy at all in the first half. We did in the second.
We'll stay to the left, fifth row, Parker.
Mike, I know you don't like to talk about the past, but given what happened in this game last year and just the historic win that it ended up becoming, what does that mean for the future of this team to be able to kind of get past that hump and come out on top today?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it means I'm sure we've accomplished some things today. I think getting to 10 wins is going to set us up to continue playing football and continue chasing the big prizes. I think that they're going to have a confidence and a belief that no matter what the situation in the game is, they're going to have a chance to win because, you know, and then I think hopefully they're going to have an understanding of what it takes to get themselves mentally locked in every week, you know, regardless of what their perception of the game outcome might be, that they better have themselves locked in and ready to play.
We'll stay to the left, third row.
Hey, Coach. Looking ahead, obviously you got Samford and Texas upcoming, but could you talk about potential college football playoff opponents in the state of Texas, for example, Texas Tech, North Texas?
I got no interest in talking about potential playoff opponents.
Okay, no problem.
We're going to go to the second row. Aaron.
Hey, Coach, I was just wondering if anything was said by you or any other coaches to Ashton Bethel-Roman after he dropped that pass and before he caught the touchdown.
Just some encouragement, like let's go, like, get it together. You'll be all right. Like, we're gonna keep coming to you. You know, and you know, again, that's football a little bit, right? You know, some of the worst drops he probably had in his career, and probably one of the best catches he's ever had in his career. And so, just got to keep playing.
And then what was your overall assessment from him at 139 yards?
Yeah, I mean, obviously critical. The two big plays were huge. I thought Casey had a huge second half. Obviously, Marcel had a huge second half. You know, we were really able to get the passing game unlocked a little bit.
All right. I
Good.
think that's it. Yep. Thank
Awesome.
you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Linebacker Torian York. Who'd like to get us started? We'll go over to the right to Christy from the AP. From the right.
How would you describe that game and y'all's comeback?
I mean, it wasn't how we drew it up. Honestly, we didn't want to be down 30-3 at halftime, you know, but ultimately we found a way to stick together and figure out how to win the game.
Let's go left side to Alex, and then we'll go Olin, Mark.
Torian, just what was said before the last drive where you guys had to get that defensive stamina and the ball to take the lead there?
I mean, we wanted to be on our shoulders. All year long, we've talked about finishing 2-minute drill. And we had a couple last year that didn't go our way, but we were like, this ain't last year. This is this year's team. We've been training for this since the moment we left from Las Vegas, so let's go make it happen.
Left side, Olin from Texags.
Torian, what did it take from a defensive to go out there and shut down South Carolina in the second half? Because as the offense was, you know, they didn't score, and that made it possible for y'all to pull it out.
Well, at halftime, I told the team we'll probably get 6 possessions, and they can't score on any 6 possessions. Our biggest enemy is probably going to be the clock. These have to be 3-and-out drives. They have to be 5 plays or less drives. And ultimately, we found a way to make it happen. Not every drive was 5 plays or less, but we found a way to win, and I'm so joyful for that.
Left side, Mark Passwaters from on 3.
Torian, did you guys make any adjustments at halftime to try to slow them down? Because it seemed like night and day from the first half to the second.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I walk in the locker room. Well, first off, me and Dalton were the first people up the ramp, and we talked to everybody walking into the locker room. We were like, this ain't over yet. We got 30 minutes to fight. So me and Dalton did that. So when me and him walk in, Marcel had already gathered up the team. He was talking to the team about how he has to play better, how we have to help out the defense a little bit. And then I jumped in. I'm like, we have to help out the offense. We got to get more turnovers. We're losing the turnover battle right now. So we didn't change anything. We just came together as one team like we know we should have been from the get-go. We just were like, lock in, play one play at a time, and let's go win this football game.
Right side front, Travis from KBTX.
Now, it's kind of early for this question, but when you think back on this game, what do you think is going to be the first memory you think about?
The first memory I think about this game, about how it took everybody who was at Kyle Field today to win the game that were cheering for the Aggies, whether it's the fans, whether it's our program as far as equipment managers, operations, recruiting, coaches, football players, scout team. Like, trust me, it took everybody on that sideline to go win that football game today.
And just kind of what were how did you take in everything once the game was over?
Man, it was a special moment for sure because we said they weren't going to score on offense again. The offense said that they had our back. KC, Mario, Marcel walking up and down the sideline. They said, "We got y'all. We're going to go put some points on the board." And then at halftime, I'm telling them, "Look, let's go score some points. We get the ball back coming out of halftime. Let's go get some stops and let's get the crowd back involved in the football game."
Left side middle to Matthew and then Aaron.
What's up, Torian? What was the spirit like in the locker room after making program history with that comeback?
Let's turn that music up. Let's figure out what we have to do to get better. But ultimately, like that locker room right there is special. There is no panic. There's no fear. There's no quit in that locker room, and that's what I love most about my team.
All right, we'll go left side to Aaron.
Hey, Dorian. Elko said he doesn't say much at halftime, but from a player's perspective and a leader's perspective, just what did he say today, and what stood out to you the most?
I mean, let's go. We got 30 minutes to make it happen, to rewrite history. You don't have many times that you can rewrite history, avenge a loss that we had last year. We knew it was personal coming into the game, but we weren't playing like it was personal in the first half. They were playing like it was personal, even though they went out there and whipped our tail last year. But we were like, you know what? We got 30 minutes to make it happen. We don't want any blemishes on our record. Let's go find a way to go win this football game.
Behind the lights to Tyler from KBTX.
Yeah, Torian, what did you see from Marcel in that second half? What he was able to do?
I saw somebody who stepped up. I saw somebody who was playing like their life was on the line, which it was. I mean, we go out there and lose that game, regardless of how we played on defense. They were going to blame it all on Marcel. So I feel like he recognized that, and he didn't back down from that challenge.
We'll stay behind the lights to Donna.
Torian, towards the end of that game, obviously it was important that y'all were able to put it away in those final couple minutes. Just what are you talking to the guys about in that moment, or is it just kind of all instinctual?
Man, where my closers at? Cassius Howell, Dayon Hayes. Let's go win this game. Sacks, kill, 2-minute drives. Let's go. They only had one timeout going into that 2-minute situation. So we're like, let's go do it. They can't get to the 35-yard line because that's a standard field goal range for SEC kicker. So all this stuff, I'm relaying this information. Let's go. Let's use all the tips that we learned throughout the week, and let's go win this football game.
Left side to Alex.
Was there anything in practice leading up to this game that you felt like you guys weren't maybe locked in or prepared to go from the start?
No, I wouldn't say that. I just felt like they were probably just outplaying us. They were out-executing us. They were out-effering us. And that's kind of what South Carolina does against us. If I remember correctly, last year they had a bye week going into our game. This year, they had some coaching changes, so they had a couple more weeks to implement some new plays. So they came out there with some new stuff we weren't expecting. But ultimately, we weren't playing hard. We weren't playing with effort, and we definitely weren't executing. So at halftime, just one play at a time, however many plays it takes, let's go figure it out.
And you're pretty tight with Marcel. Just what'd you tell him maybe during the game and then after the game and just in that conversation?
It's time to crank it up, man. All eyes are on you, win or lose, so let's give them something positive to talk about. And I'm sure they are right now.
Right side, we're going to go to Tony and then Carter.
Torian, obviously it's well documented how well you guys come out of the second half. You guys have been doing it all season. So you talk about the leadership and you talk about just the mentality. But how much of the X's and O's is talked about halftime that is credited to that adjustment? Or is it more you guys just stepping up and making plays?
Yeah, we didn't draw anything on the whiteboard at all. I know other positions probably did, but for us as linebackers, we were like, these guys are playing harder than us. They're executing far better than we are. Let's go make it happen, one play at a time, and that's it. Trust me, we didn't write anything on the whiteboard. We didn't make any changes. We were running the same calls in the first half that we did in the second half. We just played harder and we executed better.
Right side, Carter.
Torian, at what point in maybe the second half did you see kind of the momentum shift, and maybe you saw South Carolina maybe start to wilt, and you guys start to kind of have that belief?
Yeah, I'll probably say that 4th-and-1 stop by Damian Sanford played a big role in the momentum swing. If I remember correctly, we didn't score coming out of halftime. So if they went up there and they scored again on that drive, they were on the plus side of the field. If they even got 3 points out of that, it's hard to win. So Damian went in there. He wedged his way in between the tackle and the tight end. He made a stop, and, I feel like that kind of got the momentum back on our side.
You mentioned you and Dalton at halftime kind of talking to the whole team. What compelled you and also him maybe to do that and step up as that guy?
I mean, this is something that nobody knows. Last year when they rushed the field on us, me and Dalton were the first people in the locker room shaking everybody's hands like, don't worry, like, we got this. We have no quitting us. Like, yeah, this is a blemish on our record, but don't trip. We're going to take care of it. And we did it. But that was just something that felt right last year. And so I talked to Dalton about that in the hotel room this morning because he's my hotel roommate. And we were like, I was like, do you remember that? Because I remember that. And I remember how it felt walking into that locker room and seeing the look on everybody's face. So today, like, similar situation, we were down. I feel like the team had bad mojo, bad energy, bad facial expressions, bad body language. You name it, we had it walk into that tunnel. But we were like, let's go do it. It feels right. It feels like we're being leaders right now. So let's go, boost the mood a little bit.
We're going to finish it off with Ian on the left and then Rob.
You touched on how personal this felt after last year. How encouraging is it to get a really tough, gritty win like this at this point in the year?
I mean, it's all about us, honestly. Like, what happened last year with that team, it happened, but it's just more about us, and it's just giving us that reassurance and that confidence that, we can stick together. We can overcome anything. We were down by 27 points to an extremely talented South Carolina team, but it's all about us, how we stick together, and ultimately how we execute to go win the football game.
And Rob to finish us off.
Howdy, Torian. So Coach Elko mentioned that towards the end of the game, he looked up and saw that the stands were full as people were sawing off. Talk about the 12th man and how cool it was, because y'all have seen some stadiums emptied out. You've seen some stadiums where they booed their own team. Talk about what it means for the 12th man in that third and fourth quarter to just continue to will you guys to win.
Yeah, man. This place is one like none other. Like, I'm walking around up and down the sideline, and the fourth quarter hype intro came on. And I just looked at Damon, I looked at Cassius. I said, we're not gonna let this stadium down. We have too many people here cheering for us. We're too high in the rankings to have a loss on our record. I was like, let's not disappoint these fans. These fans deserve a season like this. So let's keep it going. Let's not give them something to boo about. Otherwise, let's give them something to cheer about.
All right, York, you're done.
Thank you.
All right, now we have Ashton Bethel Roman coming up. Who would like to get us started? We'll go to the left side to Alex Miller, and then Matthew and Ian.
Ashton, just how maybe vindicating was it to get the touchdown catch after you had dropped that pass earlier on that drive?
It felt good. It felt good knowing that I could shake back, especially so fast, shake back for the team, because some of the drops, they just shouldn't have been drops. It was just like mental errors. I feel like we was a little off in the first half, clearly, but so it was a lot of mental errors in that aspect. So me being able to shake back, especially so fast, it was more so for my team. I really liked that.
What'd you guys were saying to Marcel in that first half as things were kind of going bad, and just what'd you see change from him and the rest of the offense there in that second half that allowed you guys to have so much success?
What we were saying to him is like, there's nothing to be worried about. We play football. You're gonna win some, lose some. You gotta have a short-term memory. So it is what it is. Everyone messed up on the offensive side of the ball, O-line to the receivers to Marcel himself. So we got back in halftime, and we just had a talk with the offense, and we said what was gonna be. Get our head back in the game, lock in, and then that's all it was.
Stay on the left side. We're going to have Matthew from the Morning News.
What was the conversation like in the receiver room with Mario not necessarily being 100%?
Oh, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't. We would love to have Mario out there. He a dog. We would love to have him out there, but we have, in our receiver room, we have dogs behind dogs. So it's like, even though Mario went down, we had Zay come pick up the slack. And he did a great job doing what he did. So we weren't too pressed about it.
Stay on the left side to Ian, and then Christy.
kind of building off of that, how encouraging was it to see that performance out of Isaiah Williams and then just a lot of new faces stepping up?
I almost cried. I almost cried when he scored. I was so happy for him. I know he been you know, it's rough when you playing football. You going to practice every single week, but you might not be getting what you think you deserve or whatever the case may be. But for him to be able to swallow that pride, go on the field and make the most out of his opportunity when his name called, when his number called, it just meant everything to me. So I was happy. I almost cried. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's go to the right side to Christy from the AP.
Can you describe Marcel as a leader and maybe share a story or like a moment of today and how much his leadership helped you guys be able to rally from such a huge deficit?
Marcel, the leader, is like he leads in a way that like he always sees the bright side and everything. You know, like even in halftime, it was perfect story. It was in halftime. He called the offense up. He said. He established and he addressed all the issues that we had. He said that's in the past and we're going to look to the future and we're going to make something out of this. So that's all it was, really.
We'll go right side front. We're going to go Travis, Tony, and Carter.
When you think about the halftime and the conversations that we're having, thinking back on it, what do you think is some words or one moment that you're going to remember about that time?
I don't think I can remember like a word, but one thing that I will remember for the rest of my time playing football and the rest of my life is we were down 30-3, and there was no heads down. There was no feeling bad or feeling sorry for ourselves. It was the whole offense together, a lot of togetherness and just being like having each other's back. Even all the bad plays we had, just all of us having each other's back. That family, that brotherhood that we have. That's how I remember that for the rest of my life.
And not only you, but several people there in the first half kind of had some trouble with some drops. Does that kind of can that kind of be contagious? And what do y'all feel like y'all did to rectify that in the second half?
It might have been contagious. It might have been because it was Terry, then it was me, then it was KC, then it was Mario. But you know, we kind of in the second half. We went into the second half, or we went into halftime, and we kind of we sat there. At first, you know, we pressed about it. We're mad that we dropped the ball. We get into halftime. It's like we making fun of the fact that we dropped the ball, and it's time for us to lock in now. Like it's time to stop playing the game and let's lock in.
Right side, Tony from the Statesman.
So you guys obviously have done your halftime adjustments have been great, well documented at this point. But with the comeback like this, what's it say about you and your guys' resiliency in that locker room?
It just shows the brotherhood and the family that we have, and just the togetherness that we all have. You know, Coach Elko talks about it all the time. The togetherness that we have matches no one else, so or no other team. So it's just that's what that resembles for me.
Right side to Carter, and then we're going to go Mark and Aaron.
Ashton, your last 4 games, I believe, it's where you've really started to kind of come on. What's kind of enabled you, maybe after the first 5 games being a little quiet, to really come on these last 4 games?
I would say just me being out of my own head. I feel like that played a big part in the games earlier in the season. Me being out of my own head, and someone who really helped me was Coach Wiggins. He's been in my corner, so him just sitting there telling me just keep a level head. Your time coming, and then when my time did come, like I had to make the most out of it. So that it was that Coach Wiggins.
And Torian mentioned that he and Dalton were the first 2 guys that kind of welcomed y'all in the locker room at the end of the South Carolina game last year, and then they did the same thing at halftime this time. I don't know if you were part of that mix, if you talked with them at halftime, but what does that kind of say, and what was kind of their message to you guys?
I mean that's just York. That's just York at his finest. He's always gonna be that leader, you know, and that's one thing I respect about him. He just no matter how bad things look, he's gonna be that leader, and we're gonna be able to count on him when needed. So I seen him running around the locker room, telling everybody we good, keep our heads up, and then Dalt too. Dalt, he might not have the C on his chest, but he's a captain too. So yeah.
Left side to Mark from on 3, and then Aaron.
Ashton, can you walk us through the long catch and run, and what happened to you at the end that had you have to sit out for a little bit?
So I'll walk you through it play by play. So I wasn't supposed to run that route, but but it didn't matter because we got the job done. I caught the ball and I was running, and I would call myself a pretty fast guy. I would say I'm the fastest in the receiver room. They would say it too. But after the day, I don't think so. It wasn't looking too good. I don't know. I just got, maybe I was a little tired, but the last guy, he dove for me. He missed, but like the way I stumbled after that messed my ankle up a little bit, but I'll be fine.
All right, Aaron on the left side.
Yeah, so you were, a lot of the other receivers weren't in Columbia last year when you guys had that loss. Just what did this game this year mean, and the win and the way you guys won? Just what does that mean to you personally after what happened last year?
It means a lot. I mean, even last year I wasn't playing last year. We just got ranked 10th in the country, and yeah, we were on an all-time high. I believe we had just beat LSU. So for conversations for us to talk about us being in the SEC championship and all that, and then we go to Columbia and we get dog walked by South Carolina. They stormed the field. Yeah, it meant a lot. Yeah, coming back the next year and just, especially coming back from that deficit. I mean, we shouldn't have had to. We should have just came out firing in the first half, but coming back from that deficit, it meant a lot to us.
Let's finish it off with Aiden on the left side.
So how did y'all as a team this week address all the outside noises? So much spotlight has been put on the Aggies. And how did y'all support each other as teammates in maintaining that focus coming into today's game?
Coach Elko really manages that because he don't let us get on social media to like look at ourselves. I mean, it's out there. Everyone got Instagram, everybody got Twitter, all that, or X. Everybody got that, so it's all out there. But we just in one ear, out the other, and we just don't pay too much attention to it.
Okay, that's a wrap. Nice job. Good win. Marcel's coming? Marcel, you ready for this? Let's go.
Yes, so.
All right, we got Marcel Reed here. Let's start on the right side with Dave from ESPN, and then we'll go Christy.
Marcel, could you tell us about the scramble on fourth down? It feels like, from an outsider, it feels like it sort of ignited something or kept the second half kind of off to a start. When you made that happen, what did that feel like for you, and did that symbolize anything for you?
If I'm being honest, like I did not. I didn't know where I was in the field. I just knew I had to get somewhere. And I was honestly surprised we went for it in 4th and 12. I mean, I guess we needed to in that situation, early in the second half. But just glad I got the first down and we could continue to drive. We started to go tempo a little bit and it kind of wore them down.
Stay on the right side with Christy from the AP.
Your coaches and your teammates have talked about how you were able to stay positive and you don't dwell on bad things that happen in the game. How were you able to do that in a game like this where y'all were down so big at halftime and not only come back, but come back in such an epic way?
Yeah, I think just our biggest competition all year has been ourselves, and we killed ourselves in the first half. Whether it was drop passes, we couldn't run the ball, or I was turning the ball over. It was all us. It had nothing to do with them at all. When we get in that situation, all we need to do is just take a deep breath. And we came in and at halftime, we talked and we took a deep breath, and we just told each other that we didn't need to worry about the score. All we needed to beat was the clock, and so we had to go put points up. Defense had to go make stops, and that's what we did. At the end of the day,
We can go right side front to Travis, and then Tony.
Torian said that he kind of told the defense they basically have to be perfect, not allowing points in the second half. Was a similar conversation kind of had on offense? How did y'all feel about the situation heading back out there.
Yeah, like I just said, I just told the offense that we got to become more physical. I mean, they're beating us at the line of scrimmage right now, and that's not our brand of football. We have to be physical in all phases of it, offense and defense. Honestly, I came in at halftime, and we brought in the offense together, but the entire team ended up getting in a circle. So, gave a little bit of a speech, just saying that we have to be physical here. We have to hit them in the mouth and can't let them push us back. Defense, keep doing what you're doing. Offense, we got to score the ball. We got to put points on the board. And defense held them, and we put points on the board. So we ended up getting the win by 1 point. Thank God we got that stop at the end of the game.
Is when you think back on that kind of halftime moment, is there one set of words or one moment that's gonna resonate with you? When you think back on it moving forward.
Honestly, I don't even remember everything that was said. Yeah, I just the message was got across to everybody, and we knew that we were still in this game. In our eyes, it didn't matter what anybody else thought. Maybe we were the worst team in the country after this game, or we knew what we were capable of. We knew we had to do, and we ended up doing it. So.
Right side front with Tony, and then Aaron and Alex.
Marcel, you talk about the message at halftime. So when you got together with Coach Klein, how much was the conversation about X's and O's and changing some things up, or how much of it was just go out there and execute?
Wasn't too many changes. It was just really go out there and execute. And, once again, it was just a message of being physical. We had to hold up at the line of scrimmage. We had to be able to run the ball. We did go a little bit more tempo, a little bit, just kind of keep them off guard and not let them bring plugs and stuff like that to kind of blow up the line of scrimmage. But, there wasn't too many changes in the scheme. It's just us going out there and executing.
Left side with Aaron and then Alex.
Hey Marcel, just I know you guys don't like to talk about the past or last year, but just getting this win and the way you guys got the win, just what does it mean to you personally as the leader of this team, just after the heartbreak from last year?
It means a lot. Obviously we want a revenge on this team. They were a team that kind of put us out of the question last year, and honestly, they probably could have put us in a bad position this year, depending on the score and the team it was, and just having that one loss on our record. There's no telling what it could have done. The committee could have done something a lot crazier than we would have expected, but. We got this win, and I think it was really important for us just because this team battled, and in the second half, it shows what we have in that locker room, what a lot of people don't have, and what college football nowadays is. Just there's not much culture and brotherhood, and I think us going in and making those adjustments as a team and not with coaches in there says a lot about what we have here at Texas A&M.
And then just Isaiah Williams, great game today. Just what have you seen in him, working with him in practice, and what kind of led to him playing the role that he did today?
Yeah, Zay's always been a great player. We have a lot of talent in the room, and we have a lot of depth. Whether it's running back room or receivers, whether it's O-line, anybody goes down, there's somebody else to step up. So really proud of him. He made plays, and he made some really big plays that a lot of people and probably fans probably wouldn't expect. But we always knew it inside the room. So really proud of him. Yeah.
Stay on the left side with Alex.
How hard is it from a psyche, mental standpoint for a guy that has the focus on him as the quarterback to overcome the tough first half that you did to then respond in the second?
I'd say it's probably one of the more challenging things, but I feel like I'm built for it. And, I've been in situations like this before, whether it's in college or high school or, playing another sport. So it's just, just staying calm and, like I said, going one play at a time and trying to beat the clock. We weren't really worried about the score. We were just trying to worry about executing and doing everything to the best of our ability and just kind of making plays, getting the ball down the field, whether it's a big play or a small play. We just had to execute.
And I was going to ask you, just can you think back to a time, maybe high school or college, that you had a turnaround and a comeback like this where you ended up on top in a win?
Yeah, I'll say this: the Oklahoma State game, my bowl game freshman year, we didn't win, but we were kind of behind, and we had to bounce back a little bit from turnovers and a lot of other things. And I think that's kind of where it all started a little bit.
Let's go to the right side to Christy, and then TV row.
When you saw your defense get that final stop and you knew y'all were going to win the game, what was the feeling? What was the emotion? Can you take me through how you were feeling?
Relief. Relief, that's what it was. I mean, I came on the field and, we took that knee and I just kind of looked up with my arms up like this to God. It was just kind of just a thank you to him. And, I feel like the story was kind of already written. It didn't matter how it went, but it was already written for us to win this game. So, we ended up winning. Yeah, it's amazing.
Do you think being able to win in such a gritty way after being down so much will help you guys as y'all go forward trying to reach bigger goals this season?
It'll definitely help us clean things up. I'll tell you that. I don't think it'll help us any other way because this game is now behind us, so we have another opponent to focus on. But it'll change our mindsets for sure because we have Samford and then we have a big one against Texas at Texas. So yeah.
Let's go back behind the lights to Donna and then Tyler.
Pretty emotional moment between you and Elko after your post-game interview. We don't see him be super emotional all the time, but just what does this one mean to get not just for each other but for him?
Means a lot. Coach Elko, he's done something that I don't think a lot of coaches have done. At certain schools, he's came in and he's changed this program. He's changed the culture of this team, and the people in here. There's so much love in this locker room that we have, and there's so much brotherhood. And I don't think I've ever been a part of something like this. But it's just amazing that, we're playing for each other, but we're also playing for him and trying to, get this win. He always makes jokes about, his life being in the hands of kind of 18 to 22-year-olds. And then he says, 27-year-olds like Armaje and Zeno. He makes those jokes too. But we understand that, he has a family and this is his job, and we're kind of, doing this all for him, but we're doing it for ourselves too.
Stay in the back with Tyler.
Yeah, Marcel, in that first half, why do you feel like the connection almost seemed off between you and your receivers, and did it seem very uncharacteristic for a lot of the drops? And I guess, why are you guys able to have the confidence to keep at it and completely flip things around?
Yeah, when you drop the ball, it's not anybody else's fault but yours. And when you make a bad throw, it's not anybody else's fault but yours. So we knew that we had to clean those things up. And we know what we're capable of. We have arguably the best receivers in the country, best O-line in the country, best running backs in the country. So we can compete against anybody. It's just up to us. Like I said earlier, we're our biggest competition. And we just kind of had to come out there. It's a focus thing. If you lose focus for just a little bit in this league, it can all go downhill. So we had to flip that switch in the second half.
Let's go left side middle to Matthew.
Talking about your receivers, what can you say about Ashton and Isaiah stepping up in Mario's absence?
Yeah, Ashton's always been a big guy for us. He's probably one of the fastest people in that room, and he can get behind defenders at any moment. He did a really good job of just making plays, run after the catch. And then Isaiah as well. Isaiah kind of stepped in for Mario, played that F position. Sometimes he played the Z. We had KC at the F, but he did his assignment and he made some big plays for us this game.
Left side to student radio, and then Rob.
Earlier in the season, you gave a message to the 12th man, and you said, if you're with us, then you're with us, and if you're not, then you're not. And in the third and fourth quarter, almost every student in the stand stayed and cheered you on until you came out with that win today. How does that make you feel that they are pushing through for the Aggies and your team, and how did that help you win today?
Yeah, I really love the 12th man. We appreciate them a lot. Appreciate them for staying. I hope they don't leave, no matter what the score is. You should cheer your team on all the way through. But they bring a lot of juice, and you see defense starting to get a lot of stops, and they start to turn up the crowd a little bit and get loud and kind of mess them up. And then when we get on the field, score touchdowns, you get electric when we're in the end zone and we're having a party, and the entire crowd's up and jumping. So it's an amazing feeling, and we really appreciate the 12th man.
Stay on the left side with Rob.
Howdy, Marcel.
Howdy.
So there are moments in Aggie sports history that you can just say a couple of words and people know what it is. For AC Law, it was the shot. If you say 7 overtime, everyone knows it's the win over LSU. Mm-hmm. How would you label this big win that the Aggies are going to be talking about for years?
I don't even know. We'll just be corny and say chills.
All right, we're gonna move to the right side to Dave from the ESPN, and then finish with Carter.
Marcel, Ashton said he wasn't supposed to run that route on that play.
Oh, the one where he got hurt?
Yeah.
Yep.
So how did it end up going to him, and what was supposed to happen there?
Honestly, he just got jammed at the line and ended up in the position that KC was running into. So, I mean, I guess it ended up being good because, you know, his defender kind of ran into KC as KC's defender was going that way too. So he caught the ball and ran up the field. I wish he stayed up and got in the end zone on that one. But, I mean, shoot, when things go wrong for you in the first half, something has to go right for you in the second. So, I mean, that was one of the plays that went right for us.
All right, and Carter will finish us off.
Marcel, I know there's still more to play, but what do you think this game did for your Heisman case?
I don't even know. You know, could have went up, could have went down. I threw 2 picks in the first half. I threw for 300 yards maybe in the second half. I don't know what it would do, but it doesn't matter to me. You know, wherever I end up, I end up. But you know, we're just focused on winning games right now.
All right, that's a wrap.
Thank you.